Far away, in an enchanted forest, there was a beautiful fairy village called Lumora. The fairies lived there in joy and harmony, until one day some fairies began to mysteriously disappear. No one knew where they went, and soon, fear spread across the village. The fairies were frightened. Queen Belladonna, their elegant and powerful ruler, sent her royal guards to search for the missing fairies, but none of them returned with answers. They all failed. In the same village, there was a charming little pink salon named Twinkle Glow, run by a cheerful and talented fairy named Leela. She was an exceptional artist, always smiling and full of life. Each day she would search the meadows with butterflies to find rare, fragrant flowers and herbs. Back at her salon, she would use these to experiment and craft magical beauty products, especially her stunning eyeshadow palettes. But with the disappearance of her fairy friends, Lila grew sad and anxious. Those missing fairies were her closest companions. One evening, while she climbed a tall hill in search of rare herbs, she spotted something shocking. Queen Belladonna's guards were forcefully dragging a fairy into the royal garden. Lila was stunned. The queen was known for her kindness and grace. Everyone adored her. Horrified, Lila rushed back to the village to tell the others. But instead of believing her, the other fairies became angry. They said the queen is doing everything she can to find the missing fairies they said, "Don't spread lies." And just like that, they all returned to their homes, leaving Lila alone. But word of Lila's accusation reached the queen. Belladonna, furious, ordered her guards to bring Lila to the palace. When Lila arrived at the grand palace, she saw the truth with her own eyes. Queen Belladonna had been secretly abducting innocent fairies. She had their wings cut off and delivered to her royal alchemist, who used them to craft powerful potions and creams, ones that kept the queen young and radiant. She was so obsessed with beauty and youth. She was willing to do anything, even imprison her own kind. The guards clipped Lila's wings too, and threw her deep into a shadowy, cursed forest where no one had ever returned from. When Lila regained consciousness, she found herself surrounded by dark, twisted trees. The forest was cold, quiet, and endless. She was terrified and hungry, but there was nothing to eat. Just then, a golden light touched her face. She turned and saw a radiant golden flower glowing in the darkness. Mesmerized, she reached for it and gently tasted a petal. In that very moment, the entire forest lit up with shimmering light, and her wings reappeared, more beautiful and powerful than ever before. Empowered, Lila used her knowledge of herbs and flowers to craft a new kind of makeup, one that looked beautiful but held dangerous poisons inside. With these magical tools, she changed her appearance entirely. Her plan for justice had begun. Lila returned to the palace in disguise, presenting herself as a beauty expert from the Eastern Kingdoms. Sent by the Princess of Xianhua, she brought with her an exquisite collection of magical makeup. Queen Belladonna was captivated by the vibrant colors and rare formulas. Impressed, she asked Leela to stay and teach her maids how to make such luxurious products. Lila began by mixing high levels of mercury into the queen's favorite face cream, a cream that at first made her skin glow like the moon, but slowly poisoned it from within. Delighted by her newfound glow, Belladonna began applying the cream multiple times a day. Meanwhile, Lila also began slipping small doses of venom into the queen's evening drinks. Queen Belladonna, unaware, was living her best life, glowing, adored, and admired. But not for long. Suddenly, her health began to decline. Wrinkles spread across her once perfect face. Her body grew weak. She could no longer fly or even walk. Lila made her way to the royal dungeon with a shimmering blue potion. Inside the prison, she found her old friends, the broken wingless fairies who had once disappeared. One by one, she gave them the magical potion. With every sip, their wings regrew, even more beautiful than before. Together, they escaped the palace and flew back to Lumora, where joy and freedom returned once more. Queen Belladonna was left alone, defeated by her own vanity. And Lila, brave, clever Lila, became a legend. Not just a fairy with talent, but the one who dared to stand up for what was right.